If your friends were to describe you, what would they say?
That's a good question. They'd probably say I am very, very unique, individualistic, and that I'm creative. Probably fun to be around, sometimes difficult to manage. Yeah, but genuine. I think my friends would describe me as genuine. I think a lot of them come to me for advice. So they might say I'm wise, even though I know better. I've tricked them all. So they take my advice, and then I get to see if it works and decide if I should do it or not. So, what's the word for that? Pragmatic? Opportunistic? I don't know. Whatever. We'll say that. What? Just kidding.
So pick a number between 1 and 45.
34.
What's the biggest misperception that people have about you?
Probably that I'm flighty or not reliable. Just because I work with a lot of different companies and things are always changing. So in that flux, it can seem like I'm not ever I cannot be tied down. But, I've been married to the same girl for 9 years, so got 2 kids. I think I'm pretty reliable, pretty consistent. But that would be probably the biggest one.
Another number, 1 to 45.
How about 17?
What is something you've struggled with that you'd like to overcome?
I think getting organized. I do really well once I'm organized, but getting there is always a struggle. And then I have a hard time maintaining that. If I have a system that works and then things change, I'm like, I have to start over. I was diagnosed with ADD as a kid. And so when I clean a room, I literally take everything in a pile, in my bedroom, and I pile it on the bed. And then I just pick one object and put it where it goes, and then I pick another object. And I have to do that. So I'm really slow to get started, but when I go and get in that flow, I'm usually faster than everyone else. But that's a difficult challenge for me, is to get started. So that's something I'm definitely working on overcoming, getting, I think, slowly better at.
One more number.
Oh, how about 12? We're going down, I don't know why.
What's a long-term dream that you've wanted to follow through with?
I want to finish my death metal band. I write heavy metal music. I compose songs around a lot of things, mainly my faith. So I'm Mormon, and I started a music project I call Melchizedek, which is the name of the priesthood, kind of what separates Mormons from other Christian denominations. And I wanted to tell stories about faith in the scriptures, which aren't always like sunshine and roses, like the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Usually the pursuit of faith is actually pretty harrowing and dark and despairing and full of, sadness and sometimes death. Like our friends and our loved ones die. And so heavy metal, I think, is an authentic form of music to convey that message. It can both be peaceful and serene, but also really harsh and convey feelings that are otherwise not easy to describe. So that's the project I want to finish.
So if you could share any wisdom with the world today, what would it be?
To reflect something that Steve Jobs said, is that the world you live in is built by people who are no smarter than you. And the more you go out and work and learn from the self-proclaimed gurus and the people who are smarter than you, at some point you arrive, for me it was in my 30s, where it's kind of like, hey, I actually know what I'm talking about. And if you just persist in a direction and believe in yourself, you'll eventually arrive at this point where you're like, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing. So begin with that confidence in mind. That's what I would tell myself if I was 20 again, is just keep doing stuff and you'll eventually arrive at this yeah, I know what I'm doing. And you'll be one of those gurus. It's not It's not something people are born with. It is something also that people miss when they are not intentional about it. So you have to be intentional about saying, I'm going to become an expert and a master of my craft. So that would be that.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Thank you. It's good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you too.